On guard! Let's talk about the guards on this combination 2-in-1 surfacer and thicknesser. It's an over and under that it is. Well, there is no guards really on the actual thicknesser because the body itself of the machine is the guard. Unless you're really stupid, you're going to shove your arms through here like so, yeah, and then chop all your fingers and your forearm off up to the elbow. You don't need a guard. So don't do that. It's a stupid idea. It's messy and it'll blooming hurt. Yes, and you'll be armless. Anyway, so this particular machine, with its surface plane arrangement, is very stereotypical of many planes like this 2-in-1 combination machines. You've probably got one very, very similar. Now, this guard is also stereotypical for this type of machine. Now, if you've got a jointer planer, they'll have a thing called a swing guard. You push your piece of wood through, and it literally pushes the guard out of the way. It's perfect. It makes so much blooming sense. It covers the blade up, and it automatically adjusts to the width of your piece of wood. It's just ideal. It works. This thing is rubbish. Okay? And like I say, it's stereotypical of many of these kinds of planers. No matter what they are, they kind of generally have this kind of guard. And there's so many reasons why it's absolutely bonkers. Now, I don't run this machine with this guard. I've actually managed to find it. Yeah, it's stored with all the rubbish where it belongs. Yeah, covered in shit. I've blown up for the airline and what have you. I've waxed the slide up, the actual guard itself, because it's all sticky. Aluminium against aluminium, not a bad idea. But now it slides. Just a bit of candle wax. Now, why is it I don't like using this guard? Now, don't get me wrong, it has its uses. Say, for instance, you want to joint the edge of a piece of wood, whether it be a long piece of pine or walnut or whatever you want to do, you can run that through and you basically set your guard up over the top of the cutter block up to your piece of wood, and everything should be hunky-dory. Just pass it over the cutter block, not a problem. But here comes the problem, okay? There's always a particular problem. Now, with this particular guard, the issue is, you see, you're not always going to want to use that same old piece of cut block. No. All right? Plus, it's on the other side of the machine, so your arms are extended. You really want to be over the top of your piece of wood to some degree, because that's where you control your body comes from. You know, when you're over your piece of wood like that, you've got more control and more downward pressure where you need it than at arm's length. It's not a great idea. No. Stupid, in fact. So, you're using the old cutter block over that end, but you could be wearing the knives down at that end of the cutter block. So what you want to do is, you'll get to a stage when you want to start using at this end of the cutter block. If you're edging boards, and let's be honest about it. I suppose the most popular use for a surfacer like this or jointers for edging boards. So you're only doing really thin edges. You might occasionally do the flat of a board, but it's to true it and what have you, because you've got a twist in it or what have you, don't. But you can actually do that using the thicknesser if you want. That is possible. I'll do a video how to do that. Now I brought this over, all right? So I've got to bring this guard. So this guard is fine. Part of the fence, that guard works absolutely fine, all right? Apart from it protrudes so far at the other end, you've got to be away from the wall or whatever, or you can't have any obstructions. But also, things that stick out of these machines are an issue. Okay? They just are. Because you're going to jab yourself in the stomach or in the side or in the back or something. Because, you're trying to get past things, aren't you? And they're in the way. Just like that flipping thing is now. So you pass your piece of wood through here, right? So through the edge of the board up. And you're on top of the actual piece of wood. So you're applying the pressure where it needs to be applied. So you're passing it over the cutter block. And now I need to apply pressure over here on the end feed table. That you transfer your pressure from the in feed to the out feed table to the point of actually applying virtually no pressure at all on the in feed table. It all goes onto the out feed table. But now I'm at arm's length again, and you've got to walk around this blooming thing, okay, especially if you've got a gut like me. And you pass it over the cutter block like so, and you're at arm's length again. You're not stable. And when you're not stable, you can stumble, you can do stupid things, you can fall, your fingers can go into the cutter block, because at this point, it is exposed. Anyway, right? The other tip I'll show you regarding this if you're talking about common sense, you don't want dangly fingers. I have explained this in a previous video, but it's really, really important. Clenched fist only when you're using your hands to pass a piece of wood over the cut block. And if it's a small piece of wood, really you shouldn't really be passing it over it anyway if it's a skinny piece. But if you are, you want to attach it to another piece of wood. We're using super glue or something, so you've got something to hold on to, or some kind of clamp or some kind of jig to actually true the edge of the board up. But so you don't want your fingers being able to get anywhere near that cut block. So clench your fist, thumb and forefinger clenched like so, all right, and like so, and then pass it through. And then you've got no danglies. You don't want no danglies, no, in that cut block. No danglies. Anyway, don't do it. It will hurt and be very bloody. So that's one of my gripes regarding this particular guard, is the fact that it gets in the way when you want to get past it, your arm's length, right? And you think you're going to sort it out by actually moving the guard over that side and bringing this guard over there. You're at arm's length again. You can't... The levers, all right? You need to be on top of it to pass it through accurately and apply the pressure. Now, let's say, for instance, you don't want edge the board, you want a truer board. So you've got your argument saying you brought your fence up against your actual guard. You adjust the guard to make it high enough so you can pass your piece of wood through the actual surfacer or over the surfacer. In fact, this one doesn't even go high enough. So stupid as that. That is ridiculously stupid. I can't... That is daft. So I've actually got a lifter to drive that over, which means it can get caught on the back lip of this guard. So this one's stupid anyway. That's failed straight away. That's a stupid blooming thing. Anyway, so you're passing your piece of wood over the top of your cutter block like so, all right, argument's sake, and now you haven't got the pressure where you need it. This is why I use a push stick like this one, or bigger, is when I actually pass my piece of wood over the cutter block, I'm applying pressure over the top of the cutter block, especially when you're doing hardwoods, because what can happen is, as that cutter comes up, knife comes up, it's trying to bang your piece of wood out of the way, especially if your knives are getting a little bit dull, or if you're trying to play... That's my dog. Hello, Sebastian. He's trying to tell me, come on then, Daddy, I want my treat, I do. Yes, okay, let me just give him a treat, and then he might leave us alone. What do you reckon, Bear? All right, Paul? Good boy, very nice to meet you. There you are. Yeah, there you go. Oh, you drop it. He's got one of them mouths that food fall out of. It's sod, isn't he? Anyway, so... now, you could use the guard sort of lower down, so to speak, and bring it up against your piece of wood like so, and... For me, that'd be my preferred option, like so, okay? Because you're applying pressure down. But you've got the same problem again with this flipping thing in your way. And your arms are arm's length. It doesn't make any sense. When are they going to design a guard that isn't some kind of stereotypical thing that, quite frankly, is it's just to tick a box to say it's got a guard so it complies with health and safety and, what have you. Instead of actually designing something that works. Why can't we have one of the guards like you have on a jointer instead of this stupid thing? Because you know what I'm going to do, don't you? I'm going to be taking it straight off it again, because I actually think it's more of a hindrance than a help. And when something gets in the way, it is dangerous. And that's when I need to put my fingers off, trying to drive a piece of wood under. It basically banged up against the bottom of the thingy, the guard. Some people might say you shouldn't put it underneath, but... And it just threw it back at me. And I didn't take my fingers because I still got them. But flipping out, it made me think, flipping out, I'm going to take that thing off. It doesn't work. Sometimes we have to use our common sense and just use procedures that don't put us at risk. For instance, okay, if I'm going to plane this piece of wood, I wouldn't have all that cutter block exposed. I would halve the risk by reducing it down to where I need to, so I've got just about enough to actually plane that piece of wood, then pass that over. And that way I haven't got as much exposed, less risk. Always use push sticks. These ones are quite good for the plane, especially if you put some screws on like that, because that will grip the top. If it's rough timber, that is. You don't want to do it on, nice, smooth, shiny wood. But it is ideal for this particular job. Now, generally speaking, what I do is I true a piece of wood up on the surface or a jointer, and then I'll run it through the thickness, because then I've got one reference face. Or I'll true one edge and then run it through the table saw, because then I know I've got a very true straight edge. Otherwise, the cut you make with the table saw is going to be on the wrong, especially when you're doing, ripping down long pieces. You need a true edge. And even then, every so often, periodically, let's say for instance you've done, 5 cuts, you need to true that edge again. The edge that's going against the fence, because you can get an accumulative error, a progressive error. And unfortunately, your cut it won't be straight. It's just, I don't know. I just want them to actually do a proper job, as in design a machine that actually works. And this machine, I suppose, is about, 12 years old now, I think it is, maybe 15. And it's been a good machine, don't get me wrong. But it's just, they're all like this. Axminster and what have they all got the same sort of arrangement. Come on, guys. Come up with something that flippin' well works. Please. Then maybe I will keep it on the saw, because that is where it becomes dangerous. Is that people remove guards, okay, and then it gets lost. Then the machine gets sold on to somebody else because they can't afford a new machine, and they've got a machine without any guards on it, and they ain't got the experience. Now that is blooming dangerous. Anyway, you tell me, please leave it in the comments down below. What do you do about the guards on your machines? And I'm not suggesting you remove them. No. Just do what's right for you. Toodaloo.